and welcome to Illuminate, a knowledge sharing series by NoPaperForms. After the great success that we have received in our last session of Illuminate, we are back on demand with another opportunity to upskill and equip your admission process. And this time we are going to focus on a very special topic, that is effective and personalized nurturing. I am your host, Antriksh Kumar, associated with NoPaperForms since the last 2 years, is going to present how NoPaperForm and Ozonetel integrated system can help you to achieve your goals. So our today's topic is effective and personalized nurturing, a masterclass by NoPaperForms and Ozonetel. As you know, effective and personalized nurturing is very much important to generate leads, to get higher number of paid applications, to generate enrollments, to increase your lead to application ratio, application to enrollment ratio, as well as to complete all of your courses enrollment. So this is going to be a masterclass by NoPaperForm expert and Ozonetel expert who are going to train you that how you can use NoPaperForm plus Ozonetel integrated system better to nurture your leads in an effective and personalized way. So this is, as I mentioned, this is Antriksh Kumar. I am Senior Manager, Product Operations in NoPaperForms. I have more than 7 years of experience and I am associated with NoPaperForm from last 2 years. Here, I am taking care of marketing automation, WhatsApp Business API, telephony integration, and other aspects from the last 2 years. So as we have mentioned in our slide earlier, we have a very special guest today, an expert from Ozonetel team, Mr. Ram Pradeep Kumar. Ram Pradeep Kumar is Senior Product Consultant in Ozonetel from last 8 years. So he has more than 9 years of experience. And from the last 8 years, he is in Ozonetel. So he has a very vast experience in telephony industry, its features, and how educational institutes can use telephony systems. Over to you, Mr. Ram.
Hello, Antriksh, and hi everyone who has joined us today. I'm Ram Pradeep Kumar, and currently I'm with Ozonetel as a senior product consultant. I have been with Ozonetel since 2013, when Ozonetel was among a few players in the cloud telephony space in India. Since then, we have grown, evolved, and stand today as one of the industry leaders in the Indian CCaaS landscape. Today, Ozonetel has 160 telecom point of presence globally with more than 2,500 customer base worldwide. Our contact center software supports more than 1 lakh logins every day with more than 2 billion calls powered by Ozonetel annually. Speaking of my role at Ozonetel, I actively look into building and assessing system architecture while recommending solutions to improve the usability and user experience. I closely work with sales and pre-sales team and often do customized client demos for unique business requirements. Today, I'm very happy to be a part of this one-of-a-kind webinar and eagerly looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you for such a great introduction, Ram. So it was so nice of you to come over this webinar and train so many people, so many counselors, college team, college staff, and external members and partners that how NoPaperForms plus Ozonetel pre-integrated system can be effectively used to generate leads, to generate applications, and drive enrollments. So as we have mentioned, what we are going to discuss today is mentioned in this slide. Today, we are going to discuss about what all are the traditional approaches of lead nurturing. That will be our first agenda. That what were the traditional admission management system? What were the traditional telephony systems which college teams, counselors were using to nurture leads, to generate applications, and to generate enrollments? So first, we are going to discuss about what were the traditional approach before the NoPaperForm and Ozonetel integration can be explained. Now, what are the challenges with the traditional approach? So since multiple traditional admission management system have multiple challenges involved, multiple telephony approach has multiple challenges involved. So we are going to discuss about what are the challenges involved in all those traditional approaches. After that, we are going to discuss solution. Solution is NoPaperForms plus Ozonetel, one platform powered with double features of two different systems, how it can be used to streamline, manage, and scale your admission process. After that, we are going to discuss execute in style. Execute in style will be our screen share mode product demonstration, where we are going to show you how theoretically explained approaches, how theoretically explained strategies are implemented on ground that counselors can use, leadership team can use to nurture their leads and generate applications better. So that will be execution in style. And after that, we are going to discuss the impact. So Ram, let's proceed ahead with our master class today. That is, what are the traditional approaches of nurturing? So before proceeding for the traditional approaches, here we have a very quick poll. What are the major challenges your institute is facing in nurturing your leads? Here is the poll on your screen. Please mention what are the major challenges your institute is facing in nurturing leads. Over to you, people. So more than 100 people have joined in our session today, and it will be very great. Still, people, it's more than 30 seconds we have launched the poll, and people are still filling up their entry. I request everyone that please fill up fast so that we can publish the results. So now we are going to share the results. So here are the results, that what are the major challenges you face in nurturing your candidates. The major challenge mentioned by institutes are generating higher number of paid applications. That's a very major case that we need to discuss, that how institutes can generate higher number of paid applications. Second is counselor productivity. Third is lead to application ratio. How can we increase that? Then how can we increase application to enrollment ratio? And the least is post-enrollment student withdrawals. So I think priority is already set by the audience. Ram, do you want to share some of your observations in this poll?
Yeah, Antariksh. Like the audience said, the greater generating the higher number of paid applications is stopping up in the challenges. So this is nothing but the inefficient communications and snail-paced enrollment due to lack of digital intervention, right? So though the education landscape has evolved, the digital transformation is underway. The industry is yet to utilize full-fledged, maybe you say, customer management system and telephony system. These benefits has to be utilized fully. So that this is something we have to cover as a solution which we will be offering.
Great. So as very well mentioned by Mr. Ram, counselor productivity and generating higher number of paid application is in the top priority. So people can generate higher number of paid applications once their counselor will shift their focus right from the operational task to their core objective. So as of now, in their traditional approach, they are very much involved in their operational task, day-to-day operational activities, and they need to focus on their core agenda. That is generating higher number of paid application, increasing the lead to application ratio, enrollment ratio, and counselor productivity. Now, in the next slides, we are going to show you how your mentioned challenges can be solved. Yeah, so traditional approaches of nurturing. Now, what all are the traditional approaches of nurturing the leads? So all the traditional admission management system as in internal ERP or non-educational CRM, Excel-based reporting, Google Sheet-based reporting, these are very traditional approaches, okay, of managing the admissions. Internal ERP is ideally meant for registering the data of student who is already studying in the institute, or non-educational CRM. They are basically more focused on signing off the deal. Educational centric CRM is very much required in current world. And what are the challenges with traditional admission management system we are going to share? So for example, in case an institute is managing data via multiple Excel sheets, multiple Google Sheets, ERP, or non-educational CRM, then they are generating data via website, campaigns, landing page, discovery platform, publishers, walk-ins, raw data. So these all different set of data points are available in silos, in multiple sheets, multiple systems, multiple softwares, and they are not available at one place. So counselor is following traditional approaches to connect with them, like they are dialing the multiple phone calls via landline or personal phone. So all the traditional approaches, they are very operational heavy. For example, a counselor need to get the first Excel sheet which are shared by publisher 1, then the second Excel sheet shared by publisher 2, or some kind of website generated leads which are shared by their digital marketing team, or some other campaigns on Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Ads. So there are n number of data sources, and n number of data sources are having n number of sheets, and counselor needs to work on all of them, manage the duplicacy so that they can connect with them. Now, similarly, there are multiple traditional mobile phone calling approach also. Ram, if you can explain us about traditional mobile phone calling approaches.
Yeah. So in a traditional mobile phone calling, right, like I mentioned, the communication is happening, but are we having any track of that in a traditional approach? Unless there is a manual intervention, isn't it? So this, we have to overcome of this. And definitely for the future references, let's say a student has asked for some inquiry and we want to retrieve the data, we don't have a track of that call recording, right? So we have to come up with a digital experience that let us track every call and let us capture the call recording and maintain all of them in a single place.
Great. Thank you for sharing your inputs about the traditional mobile phone approach. So as you can see, all the traditional approaches of traditional admission management system or telephony calling via personal mobile phone, landline phone, managing data via internal ERP or Excel has multiple operational challenges involved. Counselor needs to copy the mobile number into dial pad to dial calls, or in case he or she are receiving an inbound call on a landline phone, then she needs to ask who is calling. Counselor need to get a student introduction. Once he or she will get the student introduction, then she will search in our internal ERP that which student is calling, what is his stage. So every data, every action is very reactive. It is not a proactive approach. See, a student is dialing an inbound call, which is a very hot lead, hot prospect. Okay, and then counselor is asking about his details, her details, and after asking the details, he or she need to go into the system directly to fetch the data that which stage he is. So entire operational task take lot of time and make counselor operational heavy rather than outcome heavy. So in the upcoming slides, we are going to show you how counselors can be made objective heavy rather than operational heavy. These are the challenges with the traditional approach, that non-effective nurturing, since data is available in multiple silos. Yeah, so since the data is available in multiple silos, there is non-effective lead nurturing. A counselor may touch all the leads or may not able to touch all the leads. A counselor may follow up on all the leads or may not follow up on the leads. There can be error in the manual process involved. Low quality leads will be generated because it will not be, the communication will not be very much effective. There will be low productivity. So these are the challenges with the traditional admission system and telephony system. Ram, if you can share your input on these challenges.
Definitely. Andrix, like you rightly mentioned, so to error prone the manual process, we have to come up with the automation, which we will be showcasing in the next 5-10 minutes, how we have achieved our automated process using our APIs. So there is a backend CTA integration which evolves for an agent or a counselor to make sure there is no copy pasting of a caller number, or there is no searching for the customer 360-degree view of a data, right? So that this helps for the counselor to speed up the process, right? And definitely they would be increasing their own productivity for a day. And from there, because this is a base, the ground level approach we are providing for these counselors, they obviously the leads quality can be increased and they can process the, maybe say, nurturing, everything will be beneficial.
Got it. So just want to add few more points. Ram has explained very well. So for example, let's assume that you are using an internal ERP system and you are using an external telephony system too. Now, in the internal ERP and an external system, which is not integrated at all, which is working in silos, you can't nurture all the leads effectively. Imagine you have to download the CSV of all the lead manager data or your internal ERP data and then upload it into external third-party system and then put outbound calls there. For example, you have put a filter of form not initiated and then downloaded and uploaded on the system. In the meanwhile, few of the leads have initiated the application form and your counselor is calling them and informing them that you have still not initiated the application form, which will not give a good student experience because student has already initiated the application form. Since the data is not synchronized in multiple systems, which are not integrated with each other, all these challenges of non-effective nurturing, error-prone manual process, low productivity and low quality arise. Now, in the upcoming slides, we are going to show you how these challenges can be solved. So before going for the challenge solutions, this is our second poll, that which communication approach you use for lead nurturing, which communication approach you are using, strategy you are using, so that you can generate more leads, you can generate more applications. So this will also give more interesting result to us, Ram.
Yeah.
So over to you people. So poll has been launched. We are getting poll results in very high numbers and graph is going up and down on each and every option. Okay, so I think we are almost done with the poll. And we are going to share the results now. So Ram, again, results are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Which communication approach do you use for nurturing? People are mentioning more than 21% audience is already using NoPaperForm and Ozonetel telephony integration. So 21% people are already using the kind of technology we are talking about, kind of integrated double powered system we are talking about. And 64% people are only using NoPaperForms. They can subscribe for the telephony system, integrated telephony system, for more effective and powered results, or their own systems, how they can effectively utilize. 10% people are still using internal ERP and other telephony system. And 3% are neither using NoPaperForm nor using Ozonetel, or additionally, they are not using any internal ERP as well. So Ram, can you please share your some expertise over these poll results?
Right, Antrich. With this inputs, with this feedback, right, we will have to explain the benefits of integrating with CRM. NoPaperForms has all the customer data, and telephony application, Ozonetel has the calling solution. So by using these two as a single unified solution, so there are multiple benefits. Let me take an example of seamless conversations from NoPaperForms CRM. So ultimately, we are in this world of communication. So we are bringing communication as a service, right? So the counselors can automatically view student data or the parents' information during inbound and outgoing calls. So any medium you take, we are bringing omni-channel experience for these counselors who log into NoPaperForms, right? During that conversation, be it a voice traffic or SMS or WhatsApp integrations or chat integrations, any kind of a medium, we would like to bring that customer data or the student data as a screen popping up, which you will be showing in the next few minutes, right?
Yeah.
The other example which I would like to, we can give this as a power for these counselors so that they can utilize, they can promote the admission details using a SMS or a voice broadcast. So this again, they can utilize from the same window of NoPaperForms. Even they can connect with parents through IVR broadcast. They can send out the predefined information or the fee structures or application details. Dynamic information can be broadcasted. For each student, there will be a variable which can broadcast from our application. Right? And they can also send SMS reminders. The parents can get these updates on a timely basis. So all this can be utilized from From the back end, we are supporting NoPaperForms using the APIs, be it an SMS API, WhatsApp integration, or voice broadcasting integration. These virtual numbers are provided and empowered by Ozonetel.
Great, great. Thank you for sharing your inputs, Mr. Ram. So as most of the people who are using NoPaperForms but not using Ozonetel, we will discuss in certain direction, and we will also explain what are the advantages of using the NoPaperForm plus Ozonetel integrated system. Yeah. So now this is the time to show you the real power. That one integrated platform, NoPaperForm plus Ozonetel, one platform to streamline, manage, and scale your admission process. So how you can use NoPaperForm plus Ozonetel integrated system to streamline your admission process, streamline your application generation process, generate higher number of paid applications, increase lead to application ratio, increase raw data to lead generation ratio, and increase application to enrollment ratio. We are going to discuss that in upcoming slides. Yeah. So in basically about the NoPaperForms, in NoPaperForm, you are getting lead data from multiple sources. You are getting leads from online sources, offline sources, agencies, email campaign, SMS campaign, chatbot, Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, and all those are generated as the inquiry and NoPaperForms. After the inquiry, colleges need to nurture those leads. Counselors need to nurture those leads to generate applications. And after generating applications, post-application process start. And after post-application process, token fee final payment is done. And after the token fee payment, enrolled candidate appears. So this is the entire student enrollment journey, which NPF manage, right from managing the raw data to inquiry generation and final enrollment. So this is what NoPaperForms system is all about. And in NoPaperForms, there is a unified communication suite which you can use to generate leads. Unified communication suite as in you can send email, you can send SMS, you can send WhatsApp, you can do a telephonic calls using NoPaperForm Ozonetel integrated system. There is a NIA chatbot available. You can apply marketing automation over it. You can send push notification to your counselors and college team. You can send remarketing campaign. You can send email campaigns. So the entire unified communication suite is available in NoPaperForms to nurture data and increase your lead to application ratio, generate higher number of paid applications. Now, execute in style is the step where we are going to show you how NoPaperForm and Ozonetel integrated system is going to be used practically. So we are going to demonstrate our product to show you how it can be used. So first of all is this centralized lead management system. NPF has the centralized lead management system. All the leads are placed in single place in NoPaperForms. Leads can be prioritized with respect to their lead score, and you can do 360-degree personalized nurturing. You can send personalized email, SMS, WhatsApp, mobile phone, across all the mode of communication. You can communicate with student, which will be multi-channel student engagement. So, Mr. Ram, let's quickly go into the NoPaperForm and Ozonetel system to explain about how centralized lead management system can be used, lead prioritization can be used using the lead strength. Okay, personalized nurturing can be used, and then we can show how outbound call, automated lead capturing, and campaign dialer can be used.
Perfect.
So let's go into our system. So, Mr. Ram, if you till the time I am going into the system and logging in and explain how that things can be worked, if you can explain about what is one-click outbound call solution. Yeah, so we have already shown that how one-click outbound calls can be dialed, how automated lead capturing is happening, and how seamless campaign dialing can be done via NoPaperForms. Let's move on to the next slide. That real-time counselor productivity mapping. Yeah, so we have already shown you in the screen share that counselor productivity report is on a real-time basis updated with the number of inbound calls dialed by a counselor, number of outbound calls, number of inbound calls received by a counselor, outbound calls dialed by a counselor, inbound missed as well as outbound missed. So every data is updated in the counselor productivity report. You can directly send, you can directly check what is their average call time, what is their total call time. Everything is mentioned in the counselor productivity report, which was shown. Now automate your process with real-time data triggers. Yeah, so you can create marketing automation based on telephony activities. In case the telephony activity is inbound success or outbound success, you can send communication according to that. And basis on the dashboard, using the counselor productivity report, you can check your campaign performance, both in NoPaperForms as well as in Ozonetel. So in NoPaperForms, every data is available. You can check that. Yeah, impact. So this is the final impact which we are going to discuss. So thank you, Mr. Ram, for showcasing us all the NoPaperForm and Ozonetel integrated system, double power system, how effectively can be used. Now, what are the impact of this integrated approach? First is the student experience. See, for example, an inbound call was dialed by a student. Counselor is picking the call, that counselor who is already assigned of that on that particular lead. So assigned counselor is picking the inbound call and he is already informed about his stage. So for example, Mr. Ram is dialing an inbound call. Antriksh is the assigned counselor who has already spoken to Mr. Ram multiple times. I am picking the call and I am speaking over to him with a personalized way that thank you for, we have noticed that you have initiated your application form. We can notice that you have done the payment. So this impact the entire student experience. The student experience is quite enriched. So Mr. Ram, if you can share your input on the student experience part, please.
Now the students are getting a right information and they are contacting right counselors. So it's a hassle-free communication from a user perspective, right? So they don't have to explain the data once again, whom they might have spoken earlier and they want to give the data again. That becomes a clumsy communication in real time, right? Now that counselors are getting a unified window. So now just to recap that integration, what we have achieved. So we are providing a unified window for counselors to view customer data, screen pop-up data with customer details, so that the students can give a right information and the counselor can give a right data in their day-to-day communication, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. Now the student experience is enhanced. The next impact is on the counselor productivity. See, earlier the counselor used to copy the mobile number on the dial pad, dial the outbound calls. The data security is compromised. Counselor is having the student mobile number, student is having counselor mobile number. Manual calling itself takes multiple times. There can be some error numbers added and error wrong number can be dialed. Additionally, counselors are very much efforts focused, efforts as in the operational effort focused. They are not the outcome focused. So NoPaperForm Ozonetel integrated system move the needle right from the operational effort related approach to outcome related approach in terms of counselors. So counselor productivity can be increased and can be monitored on a day-to-day basis via counselor productivity report. So Mr. Ram, please your inputs on counselor productivity.
With this integration, we are not only giving the customer data or the students data passing, like I said, the metadata passing into NoPaperForms CRM. We also maintain counselors login logout details, and we also maintain the number of calls they have dialed for a day, so that the institute can identify who is the longest spoken agent or how many minutes they have been talking in a day, so that they can identify the right counselor and they can give or they can recognize the counselors using this productivity data points which our dialer solution is maintaining. It can be an average talk time, pickup time, how fast they are picking the calls is also maintained in our system, and number of calls answered, not answered. Suppose any call is missed, let me call it as an abandoned call. So we can push the call back automatically through our dialers so that agents or the counselors will not have to run for all the missed calls, selecting manually and dialing. Again, the dialer will be helpful. So with this, the productivity on a day-to-day basis is obviously increased using this automation process.
Great, great. Thank you for sharing your insights here. Now the data-driven decision making. See, let me show it this part to you so that this can be explained better on the NoPaperForms system only. So, Mr. Ram, do you want to add some points here?
So you have covered mostly all the decision making points on the data. Like you mentioned, we are living in a world of data, right? So the data is very, very important. That is why we are bringing the intelligence of tracking the calls, recording the calls, and log-in, log-out activities of counselors, and their performance is very much important, so that the institute can reward them by end of the month or a quarterly basis. So, like you rightly mentioned, the inbound number of leads they have nurtured, by using this data, they can identify the best counselor maybe on a monthly basis.
Great. Thank you for sharing your inputs. Now the last part, better conversion. Ram, please, do you want to add some input here?
So the conversion is definitely increasing here by this automation. Probably people can give that input here. So after seeing the very first slide, you have rightly taken the track here, Antrich. The very first slide shows the traditional way of communication, and now with this better solutions we are bringing into picture. We are bringing the digital experience, be it a voice traffic or a digital traffic, SMS, WhatsApp, anyway. So we are making the conversations or communications better and user friendly, and with this experience, the conversions are definitely higher. By end of the day, we know the ROI of each campaign, isn't it? So I feel from the traditional to the current approach we are living in this world, the conversions are definitely higher.
Definitely. So as mentioned by Mr. Ram, just want to add that, see, you can run the outbound call campaign, pre-recorded audio voice campaign on raw data. And obviously, with respect to the manual calling, automated calling will be very much effective, and it will be very much faster. It will bring correct results. So your raw data to lead generation ratio will increase. Your raw data to lead creation ratio will increase, which will result in better conversion. You can dial outbound calls on the lead manager and application manager. You can send email, SMS, WhatsApp, and telephony calls using marketing automation, and it will increase your lead to application ratio. It will increase your application to enrollment ratio. And obviously, your counselors can focus on to generate on higher paid applications. So these all activities will give you better conversion and help your counselors to focus on outcomes. That is leads, applications, paid applications, and enrollments. So this is how the huge impact can be created of the NoPaperForm and Ozonetel telephony integration. I think we are all done. Any question from any person? Any person? So I think we have answered all of the questions. Mr. Ram, there is one last question which has been asked from Mr. Saurabh Sharma. So Mr. Saurabh is asking us that how counselors will come to know about inbound calls, about the campaign dialer calls. So Saurabh sir, I would like to answer this question. See, whenever a campaign, for example, a counselor head has pushed 1 lakh lead data in the campaign dialer, and campaign dialer has started dialing the outbound calls. You have, let's say, 50 counselors, C1 to C50. Okay, so all the 50 counselors are receiving campaign dialer calls. Whenever a counselor receives the campaign dialer call of any lead, a pop-up will appear on his screen, on the counselor screen, that this particular student has been dialed the outbound call. So he can directly click on that pop-up and came to know that which student he is speaking to. So the way there is an inbound call pop-up in inbound integration, in campaign dialer integration too, there is a pop-up on the counselor screen while dialing the outbound campaign call that this particular student has been dialed. So I hope this answers your question. I think we are all done. Mr. Ram, thank you so much for this fruitful session. And thank you so much for coming over to us and explaining the power of NoPaperForm Ozonetel.
On behalf of Ozonetel, we also thank NoPaperForm team for bringing into this discussions, and we are experiencing your customers, and it's a fruitful experience we also have in today's webinar.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.